chapter. And we're going to begin at the first verse. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born, a time to die. A time to plant, and a time to pluck up that which is planted. A time to kill. Wait a minute. You mean this is in the Bible? A time to kill? Now, why would this be a part of somebody's culture or history? Because it's true. There's a time and there's a season for everything under the heaven. And there's a time to kill and also a time to heal. I'm going to stop right there for a moment. Now, all of us, time brought us into this world, isn't that right? And time takes us out. No matter what you do in life, all things are governed by time. Now, the world is controlled by time. In Africa or Nigeria, there's a 6-hour difference. And in California, there's a 2-hour difference. But everybody on this planet is governed by time. Now, all things are governed by time and the element that produce the time. The time is made through what? Motion. If my hand is standing still and then I move my hand like that, that's motion from here to there. And we call it movement. And in that movement, we clock time. Isn't that right? The only way they can clock a runner and tell how fast he runs, he's got to move. He's got to run. And then they can clock how fast he or she runs. So, time governs all of us today. You know, a lot of people are living a lukewarm life, and they've lived it for a long time. But don't you know there's a time in your life that things are going to change and you're going to see from a different perspective? You're not going to see the way you see always. Time is going to change the way you see. Time is going to change the way you hear. What you've been hearing me say, you may not have understood because it might not have been your time. Are you listening? But there will come a time when you will understand, and then you will get up and you will respond to what you have heard because the time brought it. So we're all governed by this time. We stand and we live and come up on this planet we call Earth, which is 7,926 miles in diameter, 24,896 miles in circumference, with a weight of 6 septillion tons. Are you listening? And we're traveling at a speed of 1,001/3 miles per hour, making motion created by the light of the sun. And the only way this earth could rotate on its axis and move through the heavens is by the sun, the light of the sun. Now the Bible said, ye are the light of the world. You are a city that sit on a hill that cannot be hid. Now, he said, don't make your light shine. He said, let your light shine, that the world may see your good works and glorify the Father which is in heaven. Are y'all see? And when I point here, I ain't talking about no mystical heaven in the sky. This is heaven. This is the highest place you will ever go. And this is hell. Amen. It's the lowest you're going to go. And a lot of people are living in hell, but it's time to come on up to heaven. All y'all here, get your hands up and shout a little bit. Now, the earth is moving on its axis right now. This is a ship. And you know the earth is not even completely round. The world, the earth is something like egg-shaped, oblong, and it makes ripples, but you don't even feel the ripples because God is so bad. I said God is so bad that He made this earth in an egg shape and it revolves on its axis in midair, nothing holding it up, and yet anything that's oblong it wobbles, but yet we on this earth don't feel the wobble. That's defect. But nevertheless, we're all on this ship and we're traveling through space at 1,1/3 miles per hour. Now, the sun is striking the earth at its equator. And what continent is in the center of the equator? Africa. You know, they tried to put Europe right in the center of the equator, but Africa is right in the center of the equator. And guess where the pyramids of Giza is? Right in the center of the earth, right on the equator. Now, that ain't no coincidence that our people build those pyramids right in the center of the earth. But there's a reason. Now here the sun striking the earth at its equator, causing the earth to move, thus causing it to make time. And so we judge time by motion of the earth on its axis moving. Now we're judging time by the earth revolving around the sun. And it takes 365 and 1/4 day for the earth to make a complete revolution around the sun. Somebody says, you're giving us a history lesson, what are you doing? This is the word. I'm laying a foundation for you. I'm showing you the time that we live in. Another scripture said we're living in the perilous times. And these are times when men are not men and women are not women. But God made Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. God made male and female, not two males or two females. And it is proper and it is right for a male and a female to come together. But it is improper for a female and a female or a male and a male to come together. It's confusion. I don't care how you look at it. Nature will even tell you. And nature can tell you a whole lot of things if you listen to it. Look in the wild or the kingdom of animals and you see there's harmony. Because you don't have two male chimpanzees getting up on each other. Oh, y'all ain't here. Shout out to you. You don't see two male elephants fronting with each other. Ain't none of that going on in the jungle. It's only going on with God's highest creation, which is man and woman. We've fallen so low, we've forgotten what our mission is on this earth. And God gave us this earth. God said, I want you to subdue it. I want you to control this earth. I give you power over this earth. I give you power over the universe. Subdue it. Bring it under your subjection. I give you power over the four elements of the earth. Water, fire, wind, and earth. God gave us power, but white folks done took it from us. Well, shout out to you, man. Are y'all here? I know what some of y'all like to hear. You like to hear them hoopers, don't you? That's what most black folk are used to. They like to, feel the spirit through the hoopers. Jesus, and say, I want to get a friend in church. I know it's hot in here, but I need a friend, church. You know the Lord, He spoke to me one day, and He told me to go down to the kitchen and make me a sandwich. And I went down to the kitchen. I got the lettuce out. I got the bologna out. I got the tomatoes out. And I went back for the Miracle Whip. And I couldn't find no Miracle Whip. And I had to put all the stuff back in the refrigerator. Because a sandwich, I said a sandwich ain't a sandwich without Miracle Whip. See, y'all like that kind of preaching. And the preacher ain't saying nothing. But what I'm trying to do is educate you. I'm trying to give you vital information that's going to help you develop your mind and your spirit. Because the Bible says, my people are destroyed for what? Lack of knowledge. And when people don't have knowledge, they're easily to be manipulated, used, and made slaves of merchandise. Are y'all here? So here, it takes 365 days and 1/4 day to make a complete revolution around the sun that gives us our year. And it takes 23 hours, 56 minutes, 46 seconds for the earth to make one complete revolution on its axis, thereby giving us our day. Now, I'm going to make this thing short as possible, y'all. Y'all gotta stay with me. So time is governed by what? By motion. Now if you're going no place, brothers and sisters, you're making no time. If you ain't going nowhere, you're working for the man from Casey to Casey, and ain't doing nothing trying to help yourself and your people, then you ain't going nowhere. At least I am here, trying to make a difference in some of your people's lives by telling you the truth that you will not study and find out for yourself. So when the time comes for the Creator to resurrect that knowledge that you received here in you, when it's time, you will be resurrected and you will blossom like a flower and you will begin to do the work of God that you were put on this planet to do. Now, it may not seem like I'm making an impact. It may not seem like my work is being fulfilled. But every time these doors open, something is said here that makes a difference in somebody's life. They don't come to me and tell me. And many times, they don't even understand what they're hearing. But the Spirit on the inside of you understands everything I say. And you know, the Spirit making prayers or intercessions with groanings that cannot be heard with the human ear. So therefore, whatever you hear that's of truth, it will eventually manifest itself in your life. In time. Is everybody still here? So if you're not going no place, you're making no time, brothers and sisters. And if you're doing nothing, you're not making no time. Anyone who is not in motion, anyone who is not moving from one place to another place, according to the guiding principles of light, L-I-G-H-T, the light of knowledge is a person that is in existence but yet has not yet existed. Do y'all follow me here? Now let me break it down. Let me explain to you what I'm talking about. Most of us are preoccupied with a J-O-B. And what does J-O-B mean? Just above. We're operating in a system of racism and white supremacy, dominated by Europeans that don't have our best interests in heart. Amen. And the system was never designed for you to be a person of stature, a person of wealth, a person of possible leadership.
Yeah.
Because all of our hopes have been dashed. All of our dreams have been destroyed by this enemy that don't want us to rise. And it starts with our youth, our young people. If you start with the children and the youth, then we'll never have a future generation when you got them on drugs, you got them on alcohol, you got them having babies and they're babies themselves. You got them ripping and running, doing things they ought not to be doing. This is the plan for our children. But see, we as adults, the children look at us and they see you ain't doing nothing. You ain't going nowhere. You ain't making waves in the white man's system. Then guess what they ain't gonna do? They ain't gonna do nothing either. Y'all ain't here. Shout out to you. See, I told y'all, some of you color folks, when it's hot, you don't want to listen. But you can go out to a concert. Al Green. Love and happiness. And your clothes are but you still stay there till the whole concert is over. Don't look at me like that. But I'm telling you, well, I heard him talk about that, but you heard Al Green sing it though too. You got it better at home. Y'all ain't here. You should get in the spirit when you come here, so God can bless you real good. Are y'all here? Now, what time is it? We're living in Purge time. Now, are we on time?
No.
Now, slavery been over about 400 years, right? Why are we still slaves? Why do we still allow a system to make us slaves? Are you listening to me? We're not on time, because if we were on time, we'd be doing something. Y'all ain't here. See, some people just come to church because it's the right thing to do.
Out you now.
They come to church because it's a tradition.
Tradition, out you hurt.
They come to church to see somebody.
Well.
Some folks. You have people come to church for different reasons. Everybody don't come to church for the same reason. Some folks come to church because they feel guilty about something they've done. And then they want to come and bring all that guilt and burden and lay it on the pastor. Well, look here, I ain't got time for all that guilt and stuff you got. Well, you got it, don't take it back. I don't want it. I ain't got time for no altar call. You come down here, oh Lord, forgive me, I'll never do it again. Oh Lord, snap on all that big tear. Oh Lord, I'm sorry, please forgive me, Lord. And then you go right back up, man, sing me some of that. You got more than crack, man. Give me some of that fuck. And then you come back to that, oh Lord, forgive me, I'll never again. You know, I know it wasn't right to take that crack. I know it wasn't right to drink that water. But Lord, just forgive me, I'll never do it again. Then go right back out next week. You're doing the same thing over again. And you come right back here asking God to forgive again. It's the same old song.
Same song.
And see, I gave that up a long time ago, all that altar call stuff, because people ain't doing nothing but shamming and fooling themselves. They come down and repent and go back and do the same thing. But when you get ready, when you really get ready, a lot of people ain't ready yet. Can't nothing turn you around. Can't nobody make you go back. Can't nobody make you take no crack. Can't nobody make you take no crystal wine or beer. Can't nobody make you cuss and lie and steal. Can't nobody make you do that. When you really make up your mind where you want to go. And some of you, your mind just ain't made up. And I ain't got time for you when your mind ain't made up. Because I used to cast devils out of folk. I used to sweat my suicide, get all on the floor, casting devils out of folk. Y'all remember those days, don't you? Some of y'all remember that. We would have folks come in, and they come down for just that reason. Well, you know, I've been to my church, and my pastor, he couldn't cast the devil out, so I heard about you on the radio, and they said you cast out devils, and I out some devils. I said, y'all come on, I need some help. Sisters will come, brothers will come, hold on to the arms, come out, come out, get all on the floor, get the puking and throwing up, look, y'all ain't here. Come out in the name of Jesus. I ain't coming out. Come out. I ain't coming out. Come out. I mean, that went over 30 minutes, an hour. One time, there was a sister standing behind me, helping me cast out there. I was telling this woman, come out, get up, and they behind me, like, oh. I think I got the wrong person on the book. You know, I got tired of all that. It's just like a game. A lot of folks just play church, and you know, when you get serious, people don't want to come around you no more. But see, it's all about playing. People want to be seen by other folks. People want to show off in the church. People want to shout all over the church, fall out, let the clothes be all up, and everybody see it. I used to watch some folks. You know, I used to play organ in another church, Bible Tabernacle years ago, and I used to watch some of the choir members. They used to fall out of the choir. Sisters be strapping legs all like that, dressed all up in the head. I said, now, ain't no spirit gonna make you do something like that. If you're in the spirit, you're gonna keep your clothes down. Your dress ain't gonna be all over your head, and folks running, trying to get a strap or a cloth and put on your dress. Y'all ain't here. It's all about show, trying to show your merchandise. All get quiet, man. Now, why do you think women wear those short mini dresses way up here? Why do you think they wear them? Evidently, some of them ain't looked in the mirror. All get quiet. Some of y'all coming from. But I'm trying to carry you somewhere. Now, you just don't put that on because it's hot. You trying to show something. You trying to advertise something. Huh? Because if I was a woman, and you know, if I had something I wanted to show, and I was loose, and wanted to show my merchandise, then I wear one of them little short things, you know, walk down the street, you know, and you know the men gonna go wild anyway. A lot of them just like dogs, just like wolves. You know, if they see somebody short dress on, just go crazy, and you know it too. People having accidents on the road, brothers pulling over the side, somebody run behind him, trying to look at you. You causing all this confusion. Y'all ain't here. And you know, they used to come to church with them little mini dresses on. You got hanging my coat right here. Mini dress. That ain't really no dress. That's just a piece of material. And then they sit down and try to pull something they ain't got. And don't let them go upstairs. You see all the merchandise for the house. But they trying to show off their merchandise. And then you see some of them, when the music gets started in church, they have a mini dress on trying to shout. You know, like, so if you had something on, so you wouldn't have to shout like that. And don't let them fall. They be trying to catch something they ain't got. And the sister's running trying to get a cloth and throw it on here. And there's some men who have to put cloths on. Oh, you see here. Because they were wearing the wrong kind of clothes. And when they fall out, you have to put a cloth over them too. So sisters won't be able to. Y'all ain't here. Getting quiet. But I think there's a time and a season for everything under the heaven. There's a time for us to grow up and come out of a lot of these mentalities and doctrines we've been under. Now, some churches, they condemn you for what you wear. Now, don't get me wrong now. I'm not condemning sisters if you want to wear a mini dress, a short dress. That's your prerogative. That is your choice. If you want to wear it, it's all right. I ain't condemning you because I ain't your judge. Hello? But see, you cause a lot of problems, with the brothers. And all brothers ain't saved. All brothers can't handle this desire, this urge called sex. They just can't handle it. And so you cause a problem, and they come up, you call you, hey, mama, trying to get on you, what's your phone number? And then you turn them down, they get mad and want to fight you. Or you think, so if you don't create that problem, then that problem will never exist. But if you want to wear those mini dresses, it's up to you. If you want to wear those hot pants, now I've seen some sisters, they so tight with like somebody pulled them in it. And I've seen some old folk. I mean, time the weather started getting hot, I saw these old folk coming out with these tight, all this old fat sail like this. This flop. Flop. That's everything they looked in the mirror. And you have some, they look like baby elephants. And got some of these tight jeans on. And I said, how did they get in there? And they be walking look like a little baby elephant. I said, evidently they looked in the mirror and saw what they look like. If they did, they'd get out of them jeans. Y'all ain't here. Because jeans ain't made for everybody. Them tight, what do you call them, tight things? Tight. Yeah. Those ain't for everybody either. Because there's some ladies, they got so much baggage, when they stop, stuff going on. I've been on talking about. They don't ever walk real fast. And when they stop, stuff still. I've been on talking about. And they said, when you sit down, do you have a hangover? If you do, and you can do something about it. And I'm going to this here for good measure. It's good to laugh because you won't feel the heat when you laugh. Giving God the good. And I ain't picking on nobody either, so don't go out of here. You know talking about me. I'm talking about you. I ain't singling no specific person out here today. But if the shoe fits, well on. Are y'all still here? Let me wrap this thing up. I know it's hot. We're going to get on out here. Lord, have mercy on me. Now, we all come on this planet, y'all. And we came on this planet just a few days ago. And we met a world already in motion, right? The world was not made by us. We came into a world already fashioned, already made, institutions already built. And we came into a home environment that taught us to relate to the institution, to relate to the movement of the present world. And we succumb to its motions, right? And we become one with its motions and have been destroyed by its motion. Now something is wrong. What time is it? The only way we can break out of what the world has set up is that we must know the truth. Now what are you talking about, brother? They break out of what the world set up to. Well, the world and the system that we has set up a system that controls us not only economically, but mentally, spiritually, socially, and in every area of our existence. And the only way we can break out of this system, we got to know the truth. Now, how many of you are familiar with the Tuskegee experiment? How many of you are familiar with the AIDS controversy about AIDS was a chemical and biological warfare pointed at black people? And it started in the early 80s, or way back in 69, when they invented this virus called AIDS in a laboratory, in a British laboratory, and it was sent to Uganda, it was sent to Africa, it was sent to Panama, it was sent to Asia and different third world countries to get rid of populations of people. How many are familiar with the report of Agent Orange that they sprayed on the soldiers in Vietnam? Are you listening? And I'm sure everybody is familiar with the conspiracy. Well, it wasn't a conspiracy, it was done. Slavery. That went on for 300 years that supersedes anything that ever happened on this planet. Slavery was one of the worst tragedies that man has ever experienced. I'm talking about black folk, because we're the ones experiencing it. Now, why is it that when I talk about slavery and what they did to us, you say, no, I don't want to hear that. That was in the past, or leave the past. No, but the Jews always telling you, never again. And they show you the Holocaust on television every year. Show you the 6 million Jews that were slaughtered in the gas chambers. They show you that, right? But yet when I talk about slavery, I don't want to hear that. But don't you know slavery is still existing in our minds today? We are sophisticated, new, modern day slaves. And we got to break out of the system, y'all. And if we don't break out, then don't look for anything good to happen in the 21st century. Are y'all still here? Because we're going to be in the same situation we're in now in the 21st century if we don't break out of this mentality. Now, they gave these black men syphilis. And they gave it to them for 40 years. I'm talking about your government that sends your check every month. And when they first created this atom bomb, they had soldiers out there, when they exploded the bomb, exposed to the radiation, and a lot of them have died, and a lot of their children have suffered from generations to what they were exposed to with the atomic bomb. They had them stand right out in the open when they exploded the atomic bomb. But no, nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about the conspiracy in Vietnam when Muhammad Ali refused to go because he said, that's not our war. Why go there and kill them little brown folks that ain't never give us no home? And yet we catching hell here in America, but yet they want to send us over there and fight some people ain't never done nothing to us. And I understand Muhammad Ali that he didn't want to go. He's just hot. And he's going to be hotter when he comes back. But look at the trend. Look at the track record. This system has destroyed us as a people. And you heard it before, and you're going to hear it again and again and again. Don't you tell me if you're going to hear it, because I'm going to keep it on your mind just like the Jews, keep it on other people's mind. Never will the Holocaust happen again. Never will slavery happen again. Now, I can get it here. Every time you come here, you're going to get something about slavery, you're going to get something about blackness, you're going to get something about your heritage. You may not accept it, but one of these days you're going to accept it, because that cat going to get with you. Somebody's going to drag your uncle like they did that brother in Jasper. Somebody gonna shoot down your cousin. Then you're gonna get angry. Somebody gonna lynch your daddy. And then you're gonna get in the revolution. What do you want me to do, brother David? I want to know what I need to do. Because the captain got in your shoe now. Why not get angry right now and start doing something right now that's going to benefit you and your people instead of waiting till a tragedy happens before you get on board?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hello? So I'm trying to get you prepared for this revolution that's going down.
Yes, sir.
It ain't just started, it's been in operation. The revolution is here.
Yes, sir.
Now something is wrong. Now the only way we can break out of what the world has set up is that we must know the truth. And we must be able to recognize the time. We must be in harmony with the dictates of time. Then we can break out of any prison house of ignorance that has bound us to our slave master and their children. White folk always say, well, you know, that was our forefathers that put you in slavery, but yet you benefit from the shackles of slavery, and you still benefit from the Hunts, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, all these rich crackers sitting in high places. They still benefiting from slavery. That's some slave money they ain't even spent yet.
That's right.
Every nation was involved in slavery. The British, the Italians, the Portuguese, Europe, Germany, all races of people were involved in slavery because it was a great business. And we were the commodity. Human cargo.
Yes, sir.
And see, this didn't happen for 1 year. This didn't happen for 6 years. This didn't happen for 5 years. This happened for over 300 years. Our star couldn't even scratch the surface of what happened to us. See, they had no baby shackles. They didn't even trust the babies. They thought the babies might run away, so they shackled the little babies 6 months old. They had chains for them in the ships, the slave ships that came from Africa to the Americas constantly for over 300 years. But no, you forgot about that. And see, I still hear the cries of our ancestors down in the Atlantic Ocean crying out, who's going to avenge us? Who's going to talk about our death? Who's going to stand up and say it was wrong what America did and America needs to pay? See, I hear the cries. See, you may not hear the cries yet, but I hear the cries of my ancestors, and I can't rest. If I don't talk about this, I can't rest. I got to tell it. Once you're exposed to the knowledge of this, you can't rest unless you tell it. But see, some of us have become fight-stove, and we don't care anymore. We're not concerned about our Holocaust. We're not concerned about what happened to us. Did you not know they made the son have sex with his mother?
That's right.
This went over 300 years now.
Yes, sir.
They made the father have sex with his daughter to breed more slaves.
Yes.
Grandma had sex with the grandson. This went over 300 years. They used to kill us at random, y'all. You forgot this so quick? Read the book, 100 Years of Lynchings in America. Go read the book. I guarantee you'll find out who the real devil is. When these crackers lynched one of us, 5,000 would show up at one lynching. They come with their lunches. Little kids will come with their toys and stuff and little food so they can eat. And once they strung the black brother up, everybody began to cheer and chant and rejoice when they lynched a black man. And then when the black man died, after he stopped screaming, then they got the guns and riddled his body with bullets. And after they finished doing that, then all those people came up for souvenirs. And one would take an ear, one would take fingers, one would take toes, one would take an arm. And the ones who listened would take his genitals. That was the main objective, is to take his genitals. Because they knew in the black man's genitals they could be annihilated. And see, reason why they produced the gun, because they call the gun the great equalizer. See, the black man can reproduce himself in an alarming rate and surpass the white man. So he said, I gotta make a gun look just like the genitalia. Come on. And a gun looks just like the genitalia, and it can equalize. It can destroy. Are you listening to me? So he your best interest at heart. He come put it up. You know, yeah, we gonna make real good friends. Yeah, you gonna ring up for me? Yeah, I ring it to you. Yeah.
That's what he do.
250 a month? Yeah.
That's what he is.
250 a month? Get you in there and they raise the rent. No, you can't find no apartment just like that. He'll raise the rent and you can't pay it. He'll dump you out on the street. He don't care about you.
That's that white boy.
Oh, you listen to it. So much you angry? Yes, I'm angry. I have a right to be angry. And did you not know white folks don't want you to be angry? They'll tell you what degree you should be angry.
Come on, talk about it.
Hello? If someone got his foot on your neck and mistreating you and have done it for over 400 years, shouldn't you have a right to be angry?
That's right.
And he continues to do it? Oh, getting quiet now.
Talk about it.
See, this is something that you don't hear on the radio, do you? What preacher do you know preaches it on the radio? I did. That's why I ain't on now. That's why they succeeded in getting me out, because not only the people in the radio audience didn't want to hear it, but the people that own the radio stations didn't want me on there. Hello? Now, if I get on the radio station preaching this now, I have to have me some kind of tight security.
I mean,
Now, in 88, 89, 90, 91, when I was on the radio preaching, teaching this, Jesus was black, Jesus was a black revolutionary, Jesus was married, Jesus had children, all this. When I was teaching this, you know, I was angry, and I didn't care about white folk coming at me. I was ready for it. But I'm grown up, I got a little sense now. I've aged a little bit now, and I got a better understanding. I know how these crackers work and operate. See, you can't get on the radio right now and teach and preach today what I'm teaching and preaching.
that's right.
Because skinheads, Ku Klux Klan, and all these Aryan Nation organizations, they find out where you are.
That's right.
And maybe that's why God hadn't allowed me to get back on radio right now until I, get some security, get this house in order, and be ready for these craps. Y'all ain't here.
That's right.
Now, if it comes to it, I might have to get the Black Panthers to come here and be my security with their guns. I went to a meeting a few months ago. This brother Khalid Muhammad, I mean, he had his brothers with him. They had their shotguns, they had the AK-47s, they had their rifles, and they were protecting this brother.
They were ready.
And usually everywhere this brother go, he would have a search. People would be searched at the door before they come in for guns. But when I went in there and paid my $10, and I was ready to be searched, I said, y'all not going to search nobody? No, you ain't going to search nobody. I said, uh-oh, let me find me a seat on the back, because I ain't going to sit on the front. I'm going to sit on the back so I can see everything going on in this place. Brother Harris and Sister Paul, they were sitting right on front. I said, I ain't going up there. I'm going to sit right back here in the back. Me and my son will give me a seat in the back so I find out where the exits are. And plan my escape route just in case something go down in here. Y'all ain't here. And when the brother came out, them brothers came out with their shotguns, AK-47 and rifles, stood behind the brother, in front of the brother, and then the brother got there and started speaking. He said, look here, y'all may wonder why we didn't have a search at the door. I said, yeah, I wonder. Because I know how you speak. I know how you speak. He called a cracker, called a nigger.
That's right.
And he don't care if white folk there, he didn't care if the news media were there. As a matter of fact, them news people, them two white people, it was a white woman and a white man, they couldn't hang there. He humiliated them so they got him walked out. They couldn't say, well, here's the little cameras and stuff. He was humiliated. And boy, he said, you know why I didn't have a search? Because everybody in here has got a gun. Lord, I ain't talking about it. And he said, you wouldn't be a fool to come in here and try to shoot and assassinate me with everybody here with a gun, because you wouldn't be out alive. Because if you're ready to come and try to take my life, I'm ready to kill you.
That's right.
And I'm sure he was strapped. Y'all ain't here. And everybody looking around each other, and it was peaceful. Nobody, gave nobody no trouble. Nobody tried to assassinate him. Oh, you see here? But it was an attempt on his life a couple of years ago. They shot him.
Yeah.
They tried to kill him.
They did.
when he was with Minister Louis Farrakhan. They tried to kill him. He was the head spokesman for the Nation of Islam. They tried to kill the brother. And from then on, he's got security. And he's got armed guards going with him everywhere he goes. And eventually, I'm going to have to get some kind of armed guard because I can't be hushed. I can't shut up. So what I got to say needs to be said. And you got a lot of head-to-head Negro preachers that are so fearful they won't even open their mouth and call the white man a devil.
That's right.
Well, wrong thing.
That's right. That's so what he is.
Well, I call him the devil because that's exactly what he is.
That's right.
He's put us in this condition, this mindset, and you get mad at me, the truth, Rick, because I tell the truth.
That's right.
You wishing that I hush up. No, I ain't gonna hush. I'm gonna continue to tell. And if you can't deal with it, that's your problem.
That's your problem.
My loved ones, they don't like me as of today. My blood brothers, they don't like me. So when I go on the radio, I went over the highway, boy, you weren't your boss, Ken. You better stop all that. Don't you know the white man's power? I said, I don't say it. Who's going to say it in that here? That I don't give no other teacher in Dallas, not even John Wiley the Price. He'll speak it, you know, behind closed doors, but for open on the radio everyday program, because see, he getting concessions under the table to say so much, just like Jesse Jackson, he's commissioned to say so much. And when you get in a situation where black people rights are being violated, he come to bring peace. He went down to Jasper. We got to bring forth the healing. We can't fight fire with fire. Ask the fire. Ask the fireman about fire. When they have these brush fires, tell me they don't fight fire with fire. Tell me they don't bring fire down out of them flames in certain areas to burn up before the big fire comes out and burn it up. All y'all here. So sometimes you gotta fight fire with fire. You ever heard of Boule? See, you ain't around this minute, I'll teach you something. But Boule is an organization that was set up in 1939 by white racists, and I think Rothschild, the Hunts, and Rockefellers were responsible for setting up this organization where it allows certain blacks that have prestige and have certain, you know, status to be black only by permission. And when they join this Boule, they are made secure. They don't have to worry about money. They don't have to worry about votes. They'll stay in their position of so-called power, but they cannot violate the certain status that the Boule set up. And they tell you when you can be black and what issues you can speak against and what issues you can't speak against. And guess who's a member? Jesse Jackson. John Wiley Price. Yeah, Mr. Ronker, he's one. And don't hang your head and die not too long ago. Used to be over that big black church that you want Dr. Martin Luther King to come in here back in the 60s. S.M. Wright. He was the head nigga here that. And now his son took over. He's a nigga too. He's joined the Boule. Carl Cottrell. Those products you put on your house, he's part of the Boule. And I can go on and on with the list. All these black people that are so-called ideas that are in power, they have joined this Boule, and they can't be black unless white folk allow them to be black. And if they violate the code, then they end up dead somewhere, just like Mickey Leland and Brown. Was that name Ron Brown? That his plane went down. Mickey Leland, he was in the Boule. And Ron Brown, I think was last year or this year, his plane went down, but yet the autopsy showed that there was a bullet hole in his head. And the government covered it up. They killed him in the plane before the plane crashed. Because the brother, he had broke the oil. Y'all ain't here. He broke the Boule oil. And you can't The only way you get out, you gotta die. To kill. To kill Dr. King. You telling me Dr. King was one to You got a computer, you can get on the internet and you can pull up these secret orders on the internet. And they got name lists of all these people that are in these secret orders. And most of these people in the Blue Lake, they're Masons. You know what a Mason is, though? Now let me let some of y'all get too educated here. Y'all get too much knowledge. And too much knowledge can be dangerous to some. Hello? When you don't know how to handle this knowledge, it can be dangerous. I have the knowledge. I know what I'm talking about. And sometimes I just can't give too much knowledge because it can be dangerous to you. Hello? But I would advise you to keep coming. And you will find out more what you need to find out to help you exist in this revolution. Isn't God good? How many enjoyed the word today? Let's give them all another great big hand clap. Amen. Said it all as he was worth it.